I say fuck the man that lives in the sky.
In my last video, Dear New York, Q, I opined how Israel only exists at all because of the Old Testament, and that naturally the people over at the United Nations had to be aware of this fact, or be made aware of this fact at some point, and probably early in the process. In other words, they had to legitimize the stories and the passages in the Old Testament to, in fact, validate Israel becoming a nation. There's no other way. So anyway, soon after uploading this, I wondered what one of those conversations back then must have been like. I imagined a scenario where one of the Jewish leaders is finally at the UN for an interview. And I would also like to add that the last couple of weeks I've had to open a couple of my videos with a small tribute. First, it was the passing of country legend Merle Haggard, and more recently, Prince. Anyway, my concept here today is right out of the Bob Newhart playbook. For those not familiar, Bob was, of course, a TV star back in the 70s and 80s, but before that, a highly respected comedian in his own right. The button-down mind of Bob Newhart, in my opinion, is flat out a timeless classic. One thing he did wonderfully was have these imaginary conversations where we, the listener, would only be privy to one half of the audio. And I'll put some links to his stuff in the description box, but then I thought, wouldn't it be nice to pay tribute to a legend before he or she actually dies? Bob Newhart is a man that deserves at least that much. So, without further ado, my admittedly very meager attempt at his signature shtick. Salute to you, Bob. And yes, with that, everybody drink. Okay, Mr. Nussbaum, is it? You represent the proposal put forth seeking to create the nation-state of Israel. Is that correct? Well, that certainly is an interesting piece of land you and your group picked there, Mr. Nussbaum. Managed to find the one place in the Middle East without oil, huh? Yeah, well, I did have a question. Have you considered who your neighbors would be there? Not for nothing, but they can be a little abrasive at times. I was looking at our records, and there are a few other options available to you. For instance, I happen to know that Germany will do pretty much anything we damn well tell them right now. Could carve you out something very nice. No, huh? Okay, all right. Well, there's also a lovely section of Australia. No, again, huh? Okay. I see. Pretty set on that particular piece of land. Okay, all right. Excuse me? What's that? What book? The Torah. Oh, the Bible. Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's a good book. What's that? You're God's chosen people. Chosen for... Oh, just chosen. Gotcha. No. Of course I know the story, but it's been a little while, and the 40s have been a little busy, as you know. So, refresh my memory. All right, yeah, Moses, sure. He He freed your people from slavery, right? After 400 years, God finally had enough, huh? Hey, I've always wondered, why do you suppose that God hardened Pharaoh's heart when he was about to let the slaves all go? Oh, yeah, I hadn't thought of that before. Yeah, I can see that. Didn't want to waste all those frogs or locusts. Yeah, it's very practical, actually. Yeah. So Moses parted the sea, right? And then what? He took them right to Israel. They wandered the desert for 40 years. Huh. Interesting. And then they. Do you mind? Could I just see your copy there, your book? Do you mind? Thanks. And then they went to Israel, right? Oh, good, very good. Where they settled to live wow. Never realized God was quite so obsessed with foreskin. Nothing. No, I was saying where they settled to live a quiet, peaceful, godly Wait a second. They killed them all? Who? The Canaanites, the Midianites. It's all right here in Deuteronomy. Oh, I see. They spared the virgins. Hey, yeah, well, that was certainly humane of them. You know what, Mr. Nussbaum? The past is the past, right? The important thing is, of course, that it's all clearly documented right here. And we know the Bible is true because it says so right in the Bible. Mr. Nussbaum, I wouldn't worry. I think we can rubber stamp this thing and have you home in time for gefilte Kugel. What's that now? Oh, the bill, right, yeah. Send it where? Washington, D.C. Oh, yes, of course. I'll tell you a little secret, Mr. Nussbaum. They pick up most of it anyway. If you play your cards right, you can probably have them pick up the tab for... Already done, huh? Wow. Well, nicely done there. All right, Mr. Nussbaum, let's just pick you out a flag, and we'll get right to work on those pesky Palestinians. No, we should have them all out in a week. Hey, what are they going to do? Throw rocks at us?